If you own a prior generation set of P790s, or you're even thinking about buying the new 2025 version, you have to watch this video. So we're the only people in the industry who are going to robot test this and give you the honest difference. We're going to head to head the 2023 model with the 2025 model. We've done a multiple speed test, 80 mile an hour, 90 mile an hour, and we're going to do an 85 mile an hour test on camera.
A little selfish there. That's kind of my speed where I can get to with the 7-iron, and I play the 770s, which I love right now, and I've never really played the 790s, but thinking about blending the set, so let's see what happens.
Okay, run a show for you. We're going to talk a little bit about the tech, not too much because you can find that information anywhere. Then we're going to jump straight in and hit the 790 2023 version out of the center at 85 miles an hour, mark speed, flip the clubs over, hit the 2025 one, and then we're going to show you the big test data, the 80 mile an hour test, all the numbers you ever wanted, dispersion graphs, 90 mile an hour test, all the numbers you've ever wanted, dispersion graphs. So first of all, let's kick in and talk about the looks.
I think it looks awesome. I mean, I like the 770, obviously. I bought a set of those and playing them right now, actually, and like them a lot. They did a lot on the cosmetics on this. It looks so much cleaner now. It's not the flat back. It's kind of a satin finish. Looks a little thin on the top. Looks shorter heel to toe to me when I sit on the ground.
Yep.
Doesn't seem to measure that. We'll get into that more when we start doing the 3D scanning and actually measure some of the stuff. But it just looks a lot better, and the other one wasn't bad looking to begin with.
No.
By the way, 790 has been one of our top selling irons for almost a decade, right? Probably sold more of these than any other club with the same number on it anyway.
Yep.
Over the last 10 years. So it's definitely an important club in the industry.
They've definitely blended it with the other P series because they've kind of revamped them all in the last year. It flows perfectly in there. Like you said, thinner top line, that is true.
Little wider sole.
What, more camber to it?
More camber to it, more rounded.
And they've actually got
great.
a progressive leading edge through the set.
Yeah, you can almost see a little camber in the front here too, which it didn't have in the past. So,
I love that.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Matter of fact, a lot of tour players and stuff, TK grinds his wedge. It's just, his iron's just on the toe like that. Pretty common and looks great.
And you're not the only person that said about the heel to toe. 790 is what they've defined the heel to toe length with. So I think what they've done is they've changed this grooving in the center.
Yeah, because I stood next to each other and looked at them this way. I didn't see that. It looked almost the same, but when I set them on the ground, it looked shorter heel to toe. So it's something you've done in the graphics to make it look more compact.
And the two tech things, which we're not really, we're evidence-based, data-driven. What they say is 20% harder face, stronger face. Harder is maybe not the right word, stronger.
Right.
So that's going to try and produce more ball speed.
Yep.
Stay tuned, find out. And then we've also got a different speed foam air, so that's going to try and make it feel as soft as
what
possible.
they're trying to do with that stuff is make it as light as they can, so it makes it more perimeter weighted, obviously. And as that technology advances and has a bunch, in the last decade, so it's definitely getting thinner and lighter, but still has the sound and dampening properties they want.
Okay, well, let's do it. 2023 version of the P790 here, 85 miles an hour at the center of the club, 4 degrees down, 0 path, 0 face, 0 angle of attack, same shaft for both heads. Glenn, let's give it a go.
You missed the line, Glenn, by about an inch. That's a tap in right there.
That's a tap in.
Less than 2 feet.
0 path, 0 face, 0 angle of attack, 0 heel, 1 millimeter low in the face, 4.2 degrees down. Okay, so we carried 161 with 5,700 RPMs and 22.3 degrees launch, 112 ball speed. All right, well that gives us our baseline.
Right, so that's the old one, by the way.
Yep.
So let's see what the new one does.
2025 model, get
Here you
ready.
go, Glenn.
Let's see some results. Okay, Glenn, can you get to a comparison table? You can see on the graph there already
It's
the blue dot
longer.
and the red dot.
Yep, absolutely.
So we got 3 miles an hour more ball speed.
That's a lot,
Okay.
actually, in an iron, from one of the best irons we've sold.
Yeah, ever.
Ever. Yeah.
We got 0.9, so basically let's call it 1 degree lower launch, 300 RPMs less, and a 1 degree, not even, we got half a degree less descent angle, and 7 yards more carry.
That's a lot, by the way. 7 yards is pretty impressive.
At 85 miles an hour.
That's at my speed.
Yeah.
Okay, well, by the way, Tom Romano, I'm going to need a set of those. I don't know which way I'm going to break the set in between the 790s and 770s, but certainly I could use a little extra help in the long iron, so that's definitely something I'm going to try.
So that's a pretty fun test, right? That is a true apples to apples. We built the lie angles the same, we built the same swing weight, the shaft's the same length, we used the same grip, we built the shaft at the same frequency. That is just the head doing the difference.
Yep.
There is one caveat, and as we take you to this next data sheet, you'll see it clearly in the first line. The loft is half a degree stronger.
Right.
Half a degree does not equal 3 miles an hour.
No, it shouldn't. So there's definitely something going on with the face being hotter, harder, whatever you want to call it. It's definitely doing something.
It's working.
Yeah, it's working.
Not only does it look better, it performs better. And let's dive into some more numbers. Mark, so we did the test at 80 miles an hour. We did all the group data. Let's jump into these numbers to start.
Yeah, like I said, the loft 1/2 degree difference, so not a lot.
Yep.
You'd probably expect to see a yard or two from that, but certainly not 5 or 6. Line angle same, obviously. Ball speeds up 2 miles an hour on this test. At 85, it was 3 miles an hour, so that's substantial.
Yep.
Launch is down 0.7. That's kind of a loft, which makes sense.
Yep.
Spin rate, only lost 223. That's not that much, so that's pretty good. It kept the spin rate up fairly well.
And when the ball's traveling faster, it's going to get to that peak height easier as well.
Yep.
So that's why that descent angle isn't like drastically different.
No, it really isn't. So that's the stopping power. So that's the important part. So if you can actually get it going just as high, with a little bit lower spin, and the descent angle doesn't change, descent angle is way more important than spin.
Right.
Right? Because the spin decays over time, so you don't get the 5,000. You get, some percentage of that. Under 50% by the time it lands. So it's the angle that comes in is really important.
Okay, and we've got some numerical values here. Obviously, 4 yards gain, everyone's going to love that. It's half a club for your average golfer most of the time. More than that if you've got slower speed. Then you get into the toe. So we actually improved 2 yards. It goes 2 yards closer to its total distance out of the center than it did before. So
that's really important for me too, by the way. So
Yep.
it's definitely a club for me because I do hit on the toe.
And the first thing to note is the heel drop. Talk about it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. The heel actually dropped more in the new one than the old one. My guess is the CG, we'll have to measure this with Tom Mace later, and we get into the details of 3D scanning and all the CG movement and stuff. But yeah, it seems like there's a little more mass towards the toe. So that would make it better towards the toe. For me, that's great. For those few people that hit in the heel, mostly tour players and stuff,
Yep.
not an advantage there, but like I said, toe's much more prevalent in the heel.
And it's actually kind of weird when we get to this 90 miles an hour test, which is exactly the same test, just at higher speed. We see that the old one was actually kind of longer out of the heel than the toe. That indicates that the center of gravity is nearer the heel.
Yeah, it does for sure.
Right.
So they've moved it out a little bit, much more forgiving on the toe, more solid. It also tends to make it fade a little bit more.
Right.
I mean, it's a minute thing, and certainly better players would much rather see it go right than left. So not a deficit for sure.
No. And we still picked up another 2 yards out of the toe at 90 miles an hour, so it is more forgiving out of the toe, this new version than last year's model. We also picked up 8.6 yards at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, and it was almost 7 or so at 85, which is my speed, which is a lot.
No matter what speed, we're seeing 4, 7, 9. Like there is a trend progression as you're increasing speed.
And
you're
that's
increasing
fairly
more.
linear, actually. I mean, obviously, we did the 85 mile test when I hit one shot, so you really can't take that into account. But yeah, obviously, on 90 miles an hour, you're looking at 8 yards. And as it goes down, you get less. But it's definitely better off the toe.
Right.
Both things that I'm very interested in.
Okay. Now,
and it looks great. So
we also, everyone kind of calls us out and says, we don't get enough dispersion chart data. So now we hit on the robot. We've talked about the numbers. This chart here is the 80 miles an hour test. You've got the new data on the left, and the highlighted circles are the test data. The dots high up are for 90, low down are for the old version. And then on the right, you've got the old version, 2023. So you can see that this is dramatically longer.
Yeah,
even 80 miles an
noticeably
hour.
longer. Yeah,
But it is more
a little more fade bias. Yeah.
Okay.
But it also is better on the toe. So there's a trade-off there.
Okay.
I'd rather have it be on the green and a couple of feet right, and it's really not a lot, right? It's under, a couple of yards maybe.
Yep.
Then have it go short of the green. So big advantage in my opinion.
And the other point there is that it actually transfers into the 90 miles an hour test at the same, but you actually get more consistency. So at a higher speed, they'll bunches together even tighter. Maybe something to do with the face, speed foam, can't really speculate, but it's dramatically better at higher speed than it was before.
Yeah, when we get around to catching up, obviously, with all the podcast stuff, and we're doing our actual testing that we use for our data, which is a lot more elaborate, a lot more shots. It's not just 3 shots, 3 spots on the face, heel, toe, and center. It's like 6 or 8 on an iron. Then we'll look at it and really be able to find out a little more information. But for now, this certainly is a tight grouping.
Really, really tight grouping. Well, do you want to hit it longer?
Right.
With about the same peak height and land angle?
And better miss it's off the toe.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Okay. I guess I want to say something here is that we understand in the industry, every year hit it longer and hit it straighter and whatever. And it's like, does that really happen? This is actually some really, really interesting data from last year's model, which is 2 years ago, 2023 to 2025 is a 2-year cycle. We've seen this bigger jump.
Yeah, and that's surprising. We don't see that a lot because the clubs are getting better and better, and we're all up against the USG limits on a lot of things. So year to year, you do see improvements, but it's minor. This is fairly substantial, and it did the same thing with the 770. 770 was considerably better than the previous model, and the grouping was super tight. And we did the tour test on that, with around the center. So I mean, it's improved.
Yeah,
it's a better club.
There's millions of you out there who have bought P790s. If you were thinking, oh, should I bother upgrading?
Yeah,
probably.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Well, Taylormade, great job. You've killed it this year.
Really
it looks awesome. We think the sole design is going to be really, really good for most players through that turf. The performance is incredible. Get to a Worldwide Golf retail location. Check these things out for yourself. Book yourself a fit in at Cool Clubs with our expert fitters and our S3 technology, and we are going to get you into the best setup of P790 we possibly can. You're going to have some incredible iron results this year.
Good job, Taylormade.